There we go. All right, wonderful. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm going to check to make sure that all channels are working. And welcome to the Doc Bookshop. Thank you all for coming out. We have three audience that we're dealing with today. We got our in studio. Hands up for our in studio. We love our in studio audience. Thank you so much for coming. And she wants us to use these microphones.
Yes.
Testing.
Testing.
That's why I don't use microphones.
Are y'all talking?
Testing.
Testing.
Mm-mm. Yeah, so
is it working?
Did
No.
it just go off?
I think we'll be okay. We normally don't. I think.
Well, I have a soft voice.
Yeah, she's concerned about your
Mike,
voice.
yeah.
Why don't you just hand Miss Smalls that
Okay.
mic? And I probably will be okay. We'll get you the mic.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let me check my socials.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I hear something now.
Yeah,
Testing. Oh, I'm loud and clear now. Well, wonderful. Okay. Give me 1 minute. I want to make sure that we are live and working on our channels. I'm going to go to our Facebook, and while I'm doing this, please go to our Facebook, our YouTube, our IG, and share. We want everyone to hear this conversation because we're actually speaking with a living legend of Fort Worth. Okay,
Thank you.
so you don't want to miss the conversation we are about to have. Okay, look like we're good on Facebook. Yep. Oops. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. We definitely live on Facebook. Now let me check the YouTube. Are we good on YouTube? Let me make sure we're good on YouTube. I'm not showing YouTube. Oh, yep. Okay. Good. We're great on YouTube as well. Okay, we're good. We are ready. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on today. Again, I am in conversation with. I didn't check the IG.
Oh, we got you.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
There it is. Okay. And we should have noticed that, Miss Boss, because we didn't see
I
her.
was waiting for the picture. There it is.
There we go. Okay. All right, mother. So you got to look this way. You got to look this way. You got to look that way. All right. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us, and please subscribe to our channels, like our channels, and share this with your family and friends. Again, we are in a live conversation with a living legend, and really one who I truly adore and love. I'm so excited to be in this conversation with you today.
Well, I'm excited to be here.
Yes, it's Mrs. Christene Chadwick Moss. She wrote a book, her new release, A Rose Amongst the Weeds. And that's what she was. No, just kidding. There's a reason for this title, A Rose Amongst the Weeds. And then we're going to delve into this book. We're going to have a conversation, and we just want everyone to make sure you share and invite everyone to be a part of this. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, you got to get your mic. Because if anyone needs a mic, it's you.
Oh, is it the same mic?
Yeah.
Hello?
There you go.
Oh, I thought it didn't work.
Okay. So we're a little louder than what we were before.
Good.
Okay. So, all right. Now, I know you and love you.
Yes.
But for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about Christene Chadwick Moss.
Okay.
Just a little bit, because we know you have a long history.
Well,
so we just want a brief introduction.
Just a little introduction.
Okay.
I am Christene Chadwick Moss. I was born in Diana, Texas. Now, my mom told me when I was about 5 or 6, they sold their farm and sold all of the cattle. And my dad got his inheritance and moved to Fort Worth. Now, we landed in the Lake Como community, and that's in West Fort Worth.
Okay, Como in the house?
Yeah. Now, we were so happy when we left the country. because it was dark from sun up to sundown. It was dark from sundown to sun up. Now the sun did shine during the day.
A little bit during the day, okay.
But I grew up in Lake Como. And there in Lake Como, if you remember, they had a fence that divided the Ridgely community from Lake Como, the black community. And we lived there until they took the fence down, the wall down. But when I attended Como High School, our teachers were different from today. You know, they cared about us. And then growing up in
well, Miss Moss, well, the teachers today care about the students too, but it was on a different level, I'm sure.
But it's different today than it was when I was in school. But that's just a little of that. We're gonna move on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, but my life, well, it was all because I disobeyed my parents. At 17, I became a wife, a military wife at that, a high school dropout, and a nervous wreck.
Oh, I'm shocked on that one.
Yes.
You was a high school dropout?
I was a high school dropout. In 11th grade, I had a baby. But my mom, she didn't accept that because it was 12 in my family, and all of my brothers and sisters graduated from high school. And
I just want to pause for a minute.
Okay.
They did it big back then, y'all. Okay. They had at least 5. 5 is a lot nowadays.
Yeah, with 12.
But 12?
Yes, it was 12. And but see, I was the baby girl. Now, I grew up with 6 boys, and so it was only the boys and myself then when I got pregnant. But anyway, my mom was a mother that she was not going to allow you to fail. But she made me take care of my own baby, and that taught me a lesson. Girl, that's when the struggles, the hardships, and all the suffering took place. But it allowed me to grow up and allowed me to become strong, the struggles. And so I persevered. But you have to read the book to see where all of this.
To get all the juicy details?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when my dad found out I was pregnant, all he said was, Lula, that boy's going to have to marry this girl. And that's what happened. But now after that, it's a juicy story.
Yeah.
But
they didn't play back then. They made you marry.
And then I went on to, through all the struggles, I somehow, I had a goal because my oldest sister, Dr. Mossy Chadwick Haynes, she instilled in me to become a doctor and to become a nurse. So I remembered all of this through the struggles. So I ended up getting my associate degree from Tarrant County Junior College in their first class, 1969. And then I went on to get my BS at Texas Wesleyan and on to get my master's at Texas Woman's University. But it's so many struggles through all of the.
Yeah. But that was such, but your inspiration though. I mean,
yes, I persevered.
But yeah.
I just persevered and it takes being resilient, in all of and you look back over your life and you see where you made the mistakes. And I made many mistakes, but I got up. Every time I fell down, I got up.
Yeah.
I did. But it was my mother encouraging me and my father. So I grew up in a home. So when I had my children, I persevered so hard because I wanted my children to grow up in a home. And so that's what we did over the years. Now, through all the hardships and all the struggles, my second husband, I met him. Oh, and it was such an excitement when I met him. Because it was a setup, really. It was a setup. My girlfriends, the nurses, my girlfriends, they invited me to a card game. And I didn't know it was a blind date. But when I got there, we were playing cards and
What was y'all playing?
Bid Whiz.
Uh-oh.
And through the door walked this man.
Uh-oh.
He was so handsome. Girl, and just to look at him, and he was so smooth. Oh, and in his conversation.
Uh-oh.
And I said to myself,
this book going to be rated.
Oh, I said, I have got to learn this. I got to learn more about this man. And I did. I played like it. You know how you girls are. You play like you don't.
Mm-hmm. You play hard to get?
Yes. And so, but when he left, he asked for my phone number. And I said, oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I immediately gave him my cell phone number. And then that's the love story. Franklin Douglas Moss is sitting here.
Yes, there he is.
51 years of marriage.
Wow, that is beautiful. That deserves a hand right there.
And so we have 3 beautiful children. Edmund Moss, he's in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And Kim Moss Simpson, she's in Little Elm. She retired from the Army, and she was a nurse. She retired from nursing. And then I have Franklin Moss Jr., my baby.
That's the one I know.
Yes, and he'll be back shortly. But Mia Moss is here. Mia Moss. There she is. She's the owner of Black Coffee. So if you've not been there, please go by and have a cup of coffee at Black Coffee.
Yes, coffee, and I'm a fan of their chai tea.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's the best.
And but my life has been a struggle and it's been a hardship. But I persevered and I came out on top. But it was all because of God's plan. When I stopped and I listened to what God had planned for me, that's when the pages start turning in my book. He put the love in me that I needed to just say bye-bye to all of the old things. And he gave me the strength, I think, to leave this first husband. And I was really dumb back then. And I say that because I married the same man twice. And I divorced him twice for infidelity. So then when I listened to God, that's when the plan started. Okay. So I'm here today by the grace of God.
Praise the Lord.
Yes. And I want to thank you for being here this afternoon. And I want to thank the audience for listening to my little talk. Because the book, it's not only my life, it includes politics and my journey through 29 years as a school board trustee. And I have many of the administrators I worked with are in my book. And one of the proud things I think I have in my book is the first Black superintendent we had, Mr. Walter Dansby. And so I have stories in my book that covers, all of that journey. Okay. And it's really a good book. It's a lot in there. But please get my book and read it. You'll enjoy the book.
It sounds juicy, and that was just the introduction, y'all.
That was it.
But tell us though, what inspired you to actually write a book? I mean,
Okay.
What's inspiration?
The inspiration was COVID-19.
Oh, okay.
Yes. During COVID-19, and if you know me, before the COVID, I was everywhere, visiting schools and, just everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then COVID-19, I had to be locked down. And I became just so anxious. My blood pressure was elevated.
Because you got to sit down?
Yeah, the doctor had to treat me for anxiety. And one of the things he did was not only medication, but I had to write. I was on
Oh,
writing therapy. And so
okay.
I had to write every day, just sit and write. And so once I started writing and writing, and my baby brother that's on the cover with me, he saw the book. I said, well, I need to make, do something with this writing. And I thought about a family album. And I started writing. It's 4 inches thick. And my brother saw it and he said, Chris, you wrote a book. And then one of my readers said, Chris, why don't you do a book? And I said, okay. And so from there, I started writing and writing. And so one of my beta readers started sending me questions about the family. Well, what about this? What about your you were 12, you were the ninth in the family of 12. And what about your brothers and sisters? And it just went on and on. And finally, here it is, a book.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
just thank God, that I got over the anxiety. So that's one thing I'm glad the book did for me. But it's been a journey, but it's been a good journey. So I encourage other people, not young people, but middle age and any age, take your life story and write. Just start writing and keep your journal. And
Everybody got a story.
yes, and it's really helped me
Mhm.
to look
And
back
you
over
don't know
my
who you can
life.
help from your story. So
Oh
yeah.
yes, yes. And when I could look back and I really see what's in the book, I'm just proud. I'm proud of myself.
Okay, so that's interesting that you started writing your book during COVID.
Mhm.
And so it would start off as, I guess, you were just journaling. It became a full book. So
Yes,
okay,
yes.
okay. So tell us about your writing process, though. Like for those who are interested in all that,
Okay.
did you have a hard time with the writing process, finding the editor and
Well, first I Googled and I looked
Google your
online.
friend? Yeah.
Always look for a process. So that's what I did, and it gives you an outline of what needs to be in your book, and it tells you to buy a book. So I purchased a book, and I followed that book. One of my inspirations was Dr. Monet Anderson.
Okay.
And she's
Yeah.
in the book.
Is she?
She's
Oh,
my
I love
songwriter,
her. Yes.
and she encouraged me. I had that encouragement all along the way. Um, I had Sajade Miller, Cherie Washington.
And I love the pictures in the
Yes,
book.
all of that. I had all the inspiration that you needed.
Oh.
But I started with my family, and I moved from my family to my growing up, my hardships, and my first marriage, my second marriage. And I just went through my life. And then I asked my children, Mia, she's such a big help. And I asked for them to send me their story. And once I got their story, then I inserted it in the book. And I had them to read to make sure I had everything in the book correct.
Okay.
And it's so you just get such a feeling, a heartfelt, warm feeling when you can develop something into a book. But that's it. But I want
Books
to.
are gems. We love books, okay? And this here, literally, you left a legacy not only for your family, but for the community.
Yes, I have the community in the book.
Yes.
And one thing, the section on politics, I did that last. I tell you,
Yeah, it's bye bye politics. Hello, grandchildren. That
yes.
section.
Well, politics is before that. But I
Oh, my life in
want to
politics. Okay.
thank those that helped me get to where I am today, especially politics. One of the groups that came to my house, back then in the 90s, 1990s, when I was elected to the board, uh, the greater Fort Worth area, Negro business and professional women. I was with that group, and they literally helped me win the election. They came to my house, and I didn't have money for an office and all of that, so we used my living room table, And they did my labels, my envelopes, and just everything. And I have so many people that came through and helped me get to where I am today. And I want to give a shout out for those people. And I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce my sister-in-law, Sharon Moss. She's back there. And all of you.
Hey, Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
There she is. Okay.
But I guess my family's just running late. My son is here from Washington, D.C. Oh, he's coming through the door.
Okay, well, we can do that at the end. Won't you do a reading?
Oh,
From your book.
thank you. Yes, I
Yes.
have one, and this will kind of give you an idea of how I was raised. My mother was a Holy Ghost, minister,
Okay.
and so things were.
I'll hold it for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
You got it?
As a member of the Holiness Church, we took part in services each Sunday for 4 to 5 hours. At our church, the parents sat in the front row and the children sat in the row directly behind them. When we lived in Diana, Texas, I guess I was about 5, my mother provided, we were at church. And so my mother provided each of us hamburgers, but she only purchased 2, and it was 4 of us there at church. So my mother took these 2 hamburgers, and hamburgers back then was only meat and a piece of bread. So during the service on one particular Sunday, we divided the 2 hamburgers between us 4 children. Mama gave each child half of a hamburger. Angrily, I threw my half on the floor and told her, I do not want that. I want a whole hamburger.
Uh-oh.
Well, I never saw the hand that struck me from the front seat, but I felt it. Mama never turned around. She threw her hand behind her back, knocked me onto the floor, and told me, pick it up and eat it. Now that taught me to be grateful for whatever one shares with me or gives me. I learned to say thank you. My brother sat on the seat and giggled as I picked myself up off the floor.
That was fun. Mama didn't play. All right, I enjoyed that passage. I want you to keep going. Okay, so y'all, let me kind of reset for those who are just tuning in. Again, welcome. We're here at the Doc Bookshop Live. We're in conversation with the one and only Christene Chadwick Moss, and she wrote the book A Rose Amongst the Weeds, and it's her first debut book, and so we want you to make sure you get the book. Come to the Doc Bookshop and purchase your book. And if you're not near us, just purchase wherever books are sold. Make sure you get you a copy of this book. She's everywhere. And so real quick, let's talk about your life in politics a little bit.
Okay, a very, very short little bit.
Okay.
But
now you know her short little bits, right?
We've covered what I plan to cover.
Okay.
We've covered what I plan to cover.
Okay.
But I want to complete this. You can also find my book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Walmart online. Plus here at the Doc Bookshop.
And also you're actually with Ingram, which means that any indie bookstore or bookstore can get your book. That's why I said no matter where you are.
It's across the country.
You are global actually.
Yeah. I had a really good publisher.
You're global.
I had a really good publisher, and I have to throw that in.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
the book is beautiful. Tell us about the Blue Rose. What does that mean?
The Rose Amongst the Weeds. That was my struggles and hardships, and how I emerged as a rose. And my granddaughter is the one chose the name after she read my notes. And so I thank her. And before I finish, I want to introduce my family that came. My oldest son is here, Edmund Moss. Stand up. He's from
There's
Washington,
Edmund.
D.C. And his daughter is with him, Madeline, my granddaughter, Madeline. She's at North Texas.
Okay, beautiful family.
And Franklin Moss Jr.
Okay.
He has Franklin and Anthony Clothier.
Mm-hmm.
And Mia Moss, my daughter-in-law, she's here and she's with Black Coffee. She's on a Black Coffee. So anyone else? I introduced Sharon, any of my family.
How many grandchildren do you have?
I have 5 grandchildren
You got
and
five?
3 great-grandchildren.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it, I think. Yes, I do. I
Oh,
do.
that's beautiful.
Mhm. And if you get the book, you can read about my entire family. And this is my story.
Okay. And how long did you serve in politics? Tell me how long you served.
Oh, I forgot the politics. I served 29 years on the Fort Worth ISD School Board, and I retired from the board in 2019.
And she has a school named
And I have a school named in my honor, Christene Chadwick Moss Elementary on Eastland. Also, the Salvation Army named their children's library in my honor. And then I have a lot of friends sitting out here. And I want to thank my friends for being here and listening to my story. Now, if you want to hear all of the story now, we are at the end. Just purchase my book.
Yeah, we are at our hour. And so Diane's gonna come forward. If not Diane, maybe somebody else. There she is. Come, Diane. All right, y'all. So again, thank you all for joining us in this conversation. It's been a wonderful conversation with one of my mentors. She don't know it, but she's one of my mentors. I look to you. She actually encouraged a Doc bookshop. Remember back in the day when we were just kind of starting, she would come in and she would buy her Christmas cards. She would encourage us, on Black Friday, because Black Friday, everybody was everywhere else. But Miss Moss made sure she stopped by the Doc bookshop, and support on Black Friday.
We're going to rename the section of Christene reading card section.
Right. Because she made sure. I'm like, that is so wonderful. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
So definitely make sure you get this book, add it to your library. Now, tell people if they want to follow you or contact you. Do you have a website? Are you on Facebook? Tell me your credentials.
Oh, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. At Christene Moss. I was trying Christene Moss at hotmail.com or Christine.moss1@gmail.com. So reach out. I'm there. Send a message. I answer all calls. I don't.
And you look so well. Like you look good.
Well, I don't mind telling my age.
What's your age?
I'm over 80. I'm over 80, and I thank God.
Oh, you look so. Oh, thank you, Diane. I forgot about the audience. I'm sorry. I'm so intrigued. Questions, and Diane, you can check the YouTubes and all them. Make sure we don't have any questions out there. But yeah, when I grow up, I just want to look like you. You look good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what's your secret?
Looking good. No exercise and.
You exercise?
Yes, I go to the gym, the community center. I do contest walking steps. I do all of that. Eat healthy.
Oh my gosh, you are such inspiration. I need to do that. Okay. So any questions? Oh yes, there we go.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. First of all, I'm here.
Danya.
Well, I'm loud enough.
You really are, but
They like to carry to the camera.
But
Or she gonna have to
we just
repeat
want to
her-
make sure IG and Facebook can hear you.
Right. Oh, hey.
Oh, is that Wallace?
That's me.
Hi, how are you? Yeah.
First, thank you for your 29 years of service on the board and what you've given now at the school board. just to the whole entire city.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know, compared to some of the challenges that you face and you were on the board, how would you compare that to some of the things that we're looking at today?
It's a it's a different administration and it's a different board. Their board is, I would say, it's different
So
today. I mean, that's really all I can say because we were a board that, I mean, we stood up for what was right. You know, we fought, you know, and we held our superintendent accountable. And that's all. I just hope that, you know, they become successful. And the number one thing is reading. You know, if our children can't read, they can't be successful. So that's where I am. I mean, you don't have to have a commitment for reading. You don't have to have anyone to tell you to make that a priority. Reading has been a priority in our neighborhoods for some time now. It's just that we have to be committed to reading and we want our children to read. So, you know, I have nothing else to say, but thank you.
and I just want to add, I don't know if you know this, but Wallace is definitely committed to reading because he support. Yeah. Remember some project they were having at the school, and I think they bought at least 200 books for the kids, and y'all just don't know that helped us in so many ways. So, but thank you. So, and I forget. Why don't you talk more about that, Wallace? What were you
Well,
doing?
he's the school board trustee now.
Mm-hmm. What was that program that you?
We were promoting reading and
Okay,
we wanted
yeah.
to kind of get more of our students involved in reading and the back to school. And
Oh,
we
okay,
brought a
back
group
to
for
school. That's
all the students as they were going back to school, and we wanted to make sure that we purchased it through you guys.
yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank
you. So, yeah, so that reading is definitely, that's what we do here at the Doc Bookshop. So, but I'm with you, Miss Moss. Though that's a priority for us.
And I want to thank you, Mr. Bridges, for serving on the school board, District 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, we got another question.
I looked at, I read it and glad, of course, I got so many books I need to read, but what I thought for Women's Month was very interesting. You had a relationship with your grandmother, which was Mosey. Was it Mosey?
Mossy.
Mossy was, and then your mother, Lula Mae. I can't. Okay, if I got
Lula
that.
Mae.
Yeah, that lineage correct. But what are some of the messages and information that they shared that you would want Mia to share with the next generation and to share in us in the community, to share with our children as well? What are some of those messages from women that we should carry on as we talk to women, as we share with the next generation?
Okay, I think one of the most important things that I put in the book was young women, you need to place your education above all. You know, the relationships you have in school, the young boys, you know, you have to make education a priority and obey your parents because they do know what's best for you. Although young girls 16 and 17, they think they know it all, but they need to really listen to their parents because you need to place love on the back burner and get your education. That was part of what I put in the book. But then my mother and my grandparents, I didn't know my grandmother, but my mother, she instilled in us, you know, how to live a Christian life. She instilled in us how to be the best that you could be. And one thing about reading, she instilled in us to learn to read. My mother taught us to read before first grade. You know, they had those old books and they taught you how to read. And I remember even at some point we had those old Dick and Jane and all those when they first started. But and then also it talked about parents. Know about your child. Teach your children. It's more about I would say how to be honest with yourself and know that God should be in your life. And so they taught me those kind of things. It taught me so many things. I just don't remember them right now. And like I said earlier, when you become 80, so many things you have to read and you just don't remember. But being honest, and just being yourself and not try and be other people, just be yourself, and also watch the company you keep. That was the main thing, because if you are with individuals or children that's not doing the good things or doing right, you're included in that group, whether you are a good kid or not. But anyway, the things that she taught me, they're in the book.
Okay.
And I think the most important thing she taught me was about discrimination as I grew up, because I had to go and travel. And I'd never seen a white person or traveled with a white person or been in an integrated setting when I had to leave home. So my mother taught me so many things. Mhm.
Hmm. Okay. Any other questions? We gotta bring you back later to talk about that era.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Well, wonderful. All right, so we're going to close it up because we are at our hour, Diane. We want
Oh, I see it. Could I
What?
say one more word?
yeah.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am.
From here, it's hard to see the audience, but I have a beta reader. One of my beta readers in the audience. Is that Michelle Reynolds? She was one of my beta readers and the most constant beta reader. Yes, so I do appreciate all of that because when you write a book, you don't do it by yourself. It takes a lot of individuals. So thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, Diane, we're ready to close out. All righty, so thank you all for tuning in, and thank you, live audience, for being here. We appreciate you, and definitely continue to like, share, and definitely pick up this book. Come to the Doc Bookshop or go wherever books are sold. Get this book in your family library.
And can you, since you're out there, can you reiterate, because it is a nonfiction that groups can pick it up and reading groups can pick this book up.
Well,
and
you
read
already
it.
said it.
Oh, okay. I guess, but they ain't seeing me. But anyway, if you have a group, get a book and have everybody in that group reading the book, because there's so much. I've only started, and there's so many messages in that book that you can share and build upon and challenge everybody in terms of critical thinking, especially in this day and age, and realize what we've experienced in our history is almost coming. I'm not going to say full circle. It's a 180. So it's going straight. So we need to carry some important messages with us as we navigate through this different order of things. And so I think a lot of nuggets are in here and a lot of things that we can take away from our ancestors and there's just the women in our lives. And even the men, she talks a lot about men and their behavior and character. There's so much that you can have a group discussion, especially if you're a wine club too. I mean, it's dynamic. So if you have a group, so just this as a group read as well, okay?
That's a great idea.
And we could probably see if you could bring her in or Zoom her in, and we can help with that. And we got Ms. Mia Moss that can help with that too. So again, you guys get the book.
I was going to say, Miss Moss, she can do Zoom. She already doing IG. She doing Facebook. She can handle it herself. And also, her book is going to be an ebook in a couple of weeks as well. So you can get it electronically, but there's nothing like, me. I like hardcovers. Go right in it and all that. Okay. All right. So Diane, go ahead and close us out.
Okay,
Again,
okay.
we appreciate you tuning in. Definitely add this book to your library and keep reading.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
So we